Hello and welcome back to the Sales Enablement Festival. I hope you're enjoying the event so far because we've got even more great content heading your way. Remember to have your questions at the ready and get the tailored answers you need from the experts themselves. Thank you again to our sponsors and partners for helping us bring this event to life. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the content from the festival, be sure to check out the SEC membership plans. You can find more information about this over on the Sales Enablement Collective website. Sit back and enjoy the next talk.
Hi, I'm Catherine Young and I'm the Global Sales Enablement Lead at Xerox. I have a question for you. Are you wasting your money? I've been a Sales Enablement Leader at Xerox for 6.5 years, and in my opinion, one of the most important responsibilities of a Sales Enablement Leader is to ensure that the business is not wasting its money when it invests in supporting salespeople. Content is the area I've been focusing on this past year, and I'd like to share with you a couple of stories about that today. So let's crack on. Buyers expect a digital and personalised experience. We all know that, but it is now more so than ever. And two statistics from Forrester jump out at me. Firstly, that 70% of B2B buyers treasure getting customised data and insights from a seller who can teach them something new. And 62% of B2B buyers say they can now develop selection criteria for finalising a vendor's list based solely on digital content. Yet, we continue to serve our sellers, and therefore our buyers, content that is static and generic. Brochures, spec sheets, presentations, all heavily invested in, but with little or no personalisation built into their DNA. Yes, some of our teams do produce content aligned to verticals or buyers' job roles, but we tend to still deliver this in a static format, such as PowerPoint slides, which ends up just bloating our decks to hundreds, if not thousands of slides. So what can we do about it? Well, at Xerox, we're looking into a raft of initiatives, including the move from static to digital, in that we'll be generating technical documentation on the fly from our PIM, and the modernisation of content, such as providing templated overviews that encapsulate the value messaging rather than focusing on the product features. However, these are longer-term projects whose benefits will not come to fruition for a year or more. So what can we do in the short term to alleviate some of this pain? Well, to start with, let's look at this question. Where should we be spending our money? Back in 2016, Forrester were reporting that $2.3 million is wasted each year on underused or unused marketing content. And according to Docurated, 60% of organisations report content growing at a rate of at least 100% per year. We continue to create content in vast quantities without knowing whether it's effective. Therefore, it is imperative that we, as sales enablers, provide the insight on content consumption to the content creators within our companies. How else are they going to know what they should stop creating or create more of? At the beginning of 2020, we set about to do just that. We combined a survey to capture qualitative feedback on the content being created and usage analysis to give us that quantitative insight. When analysing consumption, we, the sales enablement professionals, should ensure that we are reporting against individual salespeople, and we need to be able to show non-usage as well as usage. This can be hard to do because how do you capture a non-event? Well, you do that by having master lists. A master list of assets for your content analysis and a master list of salespeople with tags for team, region, role, etc. to pinpoint who is using and who is not using the content being produced. This gives you meaningful metrics by which to drive decisions on where to spend the company's money. Out of our 2020 analysis, lots of interesting things came up, and the two most significant for this conversation were zero usage by language. So, despite being told by the field we need to translate more content, it was fascinating to see how some of those countries had language content with zero usage, showing that their salespeople weren't even using the translated content we were providing. And this helped us focus our limited translation budget on languages and countries that were making the most out of the content that we were creating for them. And cost per usage. It's easy enough to do a cost per asset on the production costs, but how about taking it one step further and doing a cost per usage analysis? So you take the number of times it's used divided by the costs and you get your cost per usage analysis. And this gives you insight into whether an asset, even if it costs a lot to produce, if it is used a lot, it is still worth investing in. Whereas conversely, an asset may be comparatively cheaper to produce, but if used less often, can end up being expensive on a per usage basis. From this work, we were able to identify a potential $3 million of savings on our annual content creation bill. And isn't it interesting that this number is so close to the 2.3 million that Forrester say is wasted every year? So your takeaway should be, do that deep analysis on your content consumption, weave in the zero usage and the cost per usage to really uncover what content is worth investing in. And then, how do we engage and delight buyers with our sales content? Another finding from our analysis was that the lines of business where they took an integrated approach to sales and marketing had fewer assets with zero usage than the teams who produce and publish content with no regard for how it reached the hands of the salespeople. The secret is in taking an integrated approach to content distribution and ditching that checkbox attitude. If you just throw it out there, you will get some take-up. Whereas if you take a programmatic approach, pulling in touch points for leadership, buy-in from managers, awareness sessions, training, skills, content, comms, data, you name it, you really can move the needle. And I knew this from the tools adoption campaigns I'd run in the past, where we had uplifted from 20% penetration in a particular community to 80% in just 6 weeks. When you have a large portfolio, it can be a struggle to get all of your salespeople to understand all of your offerings in detail. And we need to take people from no knowledge through to revenue as quickly as possible. And we can only do that if we take this integrated programmatic approach. What's interesting is that we all do this when we onboard new hires, but we don't always think about it when launching a new product or offering to the field. And yes, it works. And at Xerox, we've been working on one such campaign right now that focuses on a group of salespeople with no prior experience of selling this particular part of our portfolio. And we've constructed a 2-part program in which we will prepare them, the sales readiness phase, and then support them as they engage the customer, the sales journey phase. In the preparation phase, we ensure we have the support needed to fuel the program in the form of dashboards, field comms, rewards or gamification if you like, and an interactive interface, such as what you can produce using Showpad, Atoms and Pages. Then we align the sales engagement touchpoints to these readiness phases, So around general introduction to the programme, product-specific training and learning, and motivational encounters. But we also bring in marketing into the equation. We want sales and marketing to work closely together on these programmes, and this is particularly relevant when dealing with the channel community who have their own marketeers. Then we turn our attention to the buyer's journey, expressed here in 4 simple stages: awareness, information gathering, evaluation, and selection. We then align to this the sales journey, making it clear to the sales rep what is expected of them at each stage, curating the best content for them to use to achieve those objectives, and clearly stating what we expect to see from them in terms of sales proof points. We are planning on focusing the field on one stage in the journey each week or fortnight to give them a chance to really get to grips with the content, the tools, the training, etc. But potentially this could also be done at the individual's own pace. And although we are still in the early stages of delivering on this, I can share with you that it's been a true cross-functional endeavour, pulling in people from global marketing, product marketing, sales enablement, field marketing, channels ops, and so on. And that has its challenges, especially in a large organisation. One of the challenges is not invented here, and making sure that people are contributing their skills and their expertise to this programme. But we're convinced that this is a better experience for salespeople. And as we all know, a good sales experience results in a good customer experience, which in turn leads to revenue generation, which is, after all, what we're all hired to do. So to summarise, are you wasting your money? Perhaps. But if you do a deep analysis on your content consumption and take a programmatic approach to getting content into the hands of your salespeople, you will be able to turn that around. So thank you. My name is Catherine Young. I appreciate your time for listening. I'm also here in person to take any questions.